Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I truly believe this is the perfect thing that we should be talking about here a few days into the new year. And even if you're watching this 6 months into a new year, I guess it wouldn't be a new year at that point, it's very impactful because many of us wrestle with this whole weight. What is the perfect weight? Why do I gain weight? Why do I not lose weight? You ever hear this word, metabolism? My metabolism is slow, it's fast. She knows all about it. She's amazing. You ask her a question about your health or health situation, she has an answer and a more holistic remedy because this is what she does with Morse Wellness. She's got the credentials to help anybody on this planet. Terry Morse joins us again on the program. Welcome back. How are you?
Steve, I am so good, and I'm so glad you give the best introductions. I'm telling you.
They're heartfelt. I got 15 pounds minimum I need to lose. So.
Oh, okay.
And,
Well,
and why do I say that? Because everybody will say, "Why do you need to lose weight? You look fine. You look thin." Because I was about 20 pounds lighter a year and a half ago, and I felt like I was in the best shape I've been in decades. Just the way I felt, and that's why I know I need to get back to that weight. So please continue. I always like to share with why people have that reason of why they think they should lose weight, and that's mine.
Well, Steve, I'm glad you gave that intro and that example because it is really important, and you've nailed it. How do you know if you have too much weight? It's how you feel, because I want to do this in 3 sections, just a little bit of definition about weight and metabolism, and then the problems involved, and then the solutions. And that'll take us through the interview. But when you have your ideal weight, you feel good. You feel strong. You feel energized. You sleep better. Your mental acuity is good, and you feel. You know how you feel with your tummy is like flat, and it's like, oh, it just feels clean inside. You know that wonderful feeling?
Yep.
I just love that. And so that is what we're talking about, metabolism and weight. And it really goes back to health because, as a matter of fact, weight is only a symptom. It's a symptom of things going wrong in the body. And so what we're talking about is general good health, but we're going to target the weight so that people can get an idea of what the problems are, why certain things don't work, and what things do work. Does that make sense?
Completely. And even the sleep thing, a lot of us don't realize that maybe it's our weight that has something to do. I'm even before we continue, I want to stop on that point. How does your weight affect your sleep pattern?
Well, okay, so really I have to get into the whole thing about.
And then if I'm jumping ahead, then stop.
Yeah, you're
No
jumping
problem.
ahead.
No problem.
I'll get to that because I don't want to answer that because I don't have I haven't put the background out yet. So let me go into what the conundrum is. The puzzle, the conundrum is that a lot of people still believe, most people, that if you have a little bit of extra weight, you have a slow metabolism. That is totally untrue. And it's really important to know that. I've worked for over 30 years in clinical practice, and probably 50% of the people that have excess weight are fast metabolizers. And people say, well, how is that possible? Because fast metabolizers, they burn so fast and they're going to be skinny. No, they're not. I have seen 450-pound people that are fast metabolizers. And how do I know this? Because it's measurable. It's measurable through a hair analysis, which I used to do a lot of. Now I've got more advanced testing doing other things. But you can identify through the activity of the adrenal glands and the thyroid glands whether the person's metabolism is slow or fast. And what does that mean? See, this is what's important. What it means is if you have a faster than normal metabolism, you're very inefficient in your breaking down your food. Things are going through you too fast. They're not being utilized. You're not getting the nutrients out of your food, and things are just going askew. And so this will often lead to weight gain. Now, on the other hand, excess weight. On the other hand, a slow metabolism, you can see many people who are older are skinny, they're small, and they have a very slow metabolism. So how does that compute if a slow metabolism means excess weight? Doesn't always, and it certainly most of the time it doesn't. So, I mean, it can, let's just say 50% of the time. So what is the issue here then? The issue is that the body is not working effectively, and we need to define that. Why is the body not working effectively? Well, various burdens on the body. For instance, various types of stress. There could be physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, all kinds of different stresses. Radiation, we have so much radiation. People don't even realize that when they turn their TV off, it doesn't stop radiating negative energies to us. You have to actually unplug it. You have to unplug your modem. You have to turn your phone completely off, not just on airplane mode. These things actually affect us greatly in our homes. And so this is a stress on the body, um, mineral depletion, ineffective nutrition. I know you're trying to say something, so go ahead. I'm just going to stop for a minute.
I'm on board with all of that, and guilty as charged. I'll put my phone next to my nightstands, and that unless there's a valid reason, you shouldn't be doing it. Same thing with, a lot of our devices. How does the radiation correlate to our weight and our metabolism?
Well, as I said, it's a stress on the body. And so when you
Okay.
stress the body, and you can define stress in different ways. A lot of people say emotional, mental, but that's a physical stress. And so anything like excessive exercise, excessive dieting is a stress, um, excessive workouts is a stress. And so what happens when you stress the body is that there's instant mineral depletion. So we've talked before about how minerals are really at the basis, the foundation of our good health. Minerals, microbes, and enzymes. Those are the three, the real important three. And
And I
so
just
if
want to
you,
say that I learned from you that minerals are more important than vitamins, right?
yes, yes, absolutely. And
Um,
people don't realize that because your body can make certain vitamins. It cannot make minerals. It has to get minerals from somewhere else. And so you have to put them in. And virtually none of us from birth have had adequate minerals. Most people assume that children are always going to be kind of healthy in the beginning, but they're very depleted because the
hmm.
parents are. I remember when I was a child, I know from now what symptoms are that I was severely magnesium deficient. I had things called, what did they call that? Um, uh, it was the little pains that kids get. Growing pains. You ever heard of that? Growing
Sure.
pains?
Sure. Hmm.
That's a magnesium deficiency. That's a mineral deficiency. And
Wow.
I had a zinc deficiency. I had fingernails that had white spots all over them the entire part of my younger life. I didn't know that was a zinc deficiency, neither did my parents. And so my immune system was very weak. So these are stressors, and stressors, well, I live in Minnesota, so the weather is a stress, right? And so you have to take more minerals if you live in a cold climate like New York, right?
It's so funny. I was in the grocery store yesterday, and I needed pepper, so I was like, "All right, let me pick up some salt too while I'm here." And I go to I see the standard salt, then I see Himalayan salt, and I'm like, I heard it was good. I think you may have said something about it in the very beginning. So I go to reach for it, and I'm like, wait a minute. It says this does not contain essential iodine for your diet. So I was like, well, not taking that one. If I'm going to have salt, and I try not to have too much salt, although you said it's okay for you if it's it's got mineral in it, iodine, etc. Then I reach for the standard table salt. Why do we hear that Himalayan salt is so great, but it doesn't have iodine, or does some Himalayan salt have it?
That's an excellent question, and people ask that all the time. In the natural state, there's not a lot of iodine. And the natural state is what you want with the balance of a broad spectrum of, let's say, 70, 75, 80, 85 minerals. That's what we need. There is no added iodine. There is not sufficient iodine in it for your thyroid health, nor is there in standard table salt where they have added iodine. That's
Oh,
never sufficient iodine. Never. Everyone
oh,
should be taking an iodine supplement. So that doesn't even count what they do. They're doing that for marketing purposes because, just your thought patterns were that way and other people's are. They say, well, I want that. But no, you've got two minerals, sodium chloride, iodine, and then 2 or 3% of chemicals in there. It's the worst thing. You should throw it away or put it under your sink and use it for putting out fires or put it in your bathtub and soak in it. Do not consume that thing. It's acidifying to your body. You do not want acidic, components going in and making you more acidic. Everybody talks about alkalinity. Vegetables are alkalizing, fruits are alkalizing.
uh,
Does that make sense, Steve?
Oh, I
No,
got
I know
taken.
I just
No, I got taken. I know we pivoted for a moment there, but I got taken because just what you said, it's a marketing ploy. I assumed that regular table salt, wherever it comes from, has iodine, but Himalayan salt, because maybe it's more natural, doesn't. And that's why we have you.
but it has trace amounts of iodine. They can't claim because they haven't added any iodine. There's just a little bit, but nobody, no supplement has enough iodine in it. I mean, I take 25 milligrams of iodine every day. Now you can get by with 10 or 12, but you should take a iodine supplement, either liquid or tableted, every single day because the thyroid is highly susceptible to radiation. Well, we've just been talking about that. Fukushima is not over. I mean, that
Um,
has devastated our planet.
Here's what I'm going to do for all of us, if I may. And we're going to press pause on metabolism and weight. If I may, a moment, 60 seconds, writing it down.
What?
If we're going to take something, supplement, if you will, mineral, if you will, what are the three most essential things, or five? You could rattle them off that we should be taking, and approximately how much should we be taking?
Are you saying just minerals or just anything, any supplements?
I'm only buying five today. What am I buying? I'm on Amazon. What am I buying?
You're talking about well, supplements in general, then, not just minerals, right?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to get the enzymes that you bought last couple of weeks ago, super enzymes from the Now Company.
Gotcha.
You're going to get a good quality salt, and Himalayan salt is not a good quality salt. It's the most popular because it's the most highly marketed, but it is dug up with bulldozers. Metals should never touch salt. A better salt would be something that would be collected with wooden paddles by hand, and it's a little bit more expensive. You know, you can get Celtic salt from northwestern coast of France. Some other ones like Redmond's is a better one, but Himalayan is just popular. That's all. On a scale of 1 to 10, it comes out at maybe a 5 or a 6. And I don't usually do things that are not 9s or 10s. Okay, so salt. What did I say? The
We have
super enzymes.
enzymes, right?
Enzymes. If you were going to buy 3 more things, well, I
Well,
would get.
I'm sorry, but even what you take, like you just said, iodine, you
Well,
know,
yeah, I would get iodine, and I would get MSM. MSM is a sulfur compound, methylsulfonomethane, and it's a sulfur compound essential for every living cell, and it's not present in any of our food chain or our soil anymore. So I would take that, and
was that 20 milligrams you said?
I take 25, but people can take 10 or 5 or 10 or 12. You know, something.
Gotcha.
You can even take the iodine that comes in a liquid that you put on sores, and put it on your skin and it'll absorb through your skin. You can use it that way if you have some of that at home.
Wow.
Mhm. I didn't give you a fifth one. I'm trying to think of I mean, apple cider vinegar would be kind of my choice, or honey. Those are foods. Um, Magnesium. I mean, everybody's deficient in magnesium. So there you have it.
Oh,
Those are
love it.
five.
How much magnesium?
Oh my God. There's different types of magnesium, different types for different people. How much magnesium? I mean, 1 or 2 tablets a day. Let's just put it like that,
Got it.
just to be generic about
All
it.
right. Sorry to pivot. Wrote it down. Wrote it down. All right. Let's go back to our metabolism and the weight gain.
Okay, so I want to say this. So now I'm going to give a couple examples because this is dramatic. One of my very, very best friends went for years wanting to lose weight because the female members of her family were all overweight. And she wasn't going to go in that direction. So she ate 1 meal a day. She did everything she could. She exercised a lot. She couldn't lose any weight. And then she quit. Took several years. She just quit. And she rested. And she didn't exercise. And guess what? She lost weight. Now, why am I saying that? Because you have to de-stress your body. You have to sleep more. We're going into solutions here. Dieting does not work. Dieting is stressing your body. And remember, stress is what puts on weight. Excessive exercise puts on weight. I've got notes here. What else? Oh, I know. Here, chemicals. So how many people reach for a medication when they could reach for something, more magnesium to calm your nerves down? But here I'm going to go into the solutions. This will be done in a minute. I mean, this goes so fast. I have to go into solutions, Steve. So the best thing to do is to consider this a lifestyle change because weight is a symptom of a lifestyle that's out of balance. And so if you feel like you're gaining weight, like I gained weight, I gained about 20 pounds when I was probably in my 30s. That's the only time in my life I've ever gained excessive weight. It took me about a year to lose it. You know why I gained it? I think I told you this before. I was eating health bars with fruit and nuts in them all summer long because I was really busy. I was selling cars. I was having a lot of fun. No. So that was a sign that I was out of balance. But it took me a year to lose that weight to get back in balance. What did I have to do? Eat real food, eat meat, eat vegetables, eat cheese, eat fats, eat bacon. We were talking about steak and bacon, steak and
Yeah.
bacon.
Yeah. And
You and I are on the same track there.
everybody thinks it's so bad for you, but no. And the reason we think that steak is bad for you is that it was marketing. That's my
Yeah,
belief.
and I just had steak for lunch and my energy is so up, because I had good quality. I mean, organic, not GMO'd foods because they hybridize vegetables and those they can actually change our own genetic structure. So you really want to get organic if at all possible, even though there are compromises there too.
Sure.
But more sleep. The more sleep you have, the more you honor your digestive process, which you're doing with the super enzymes, the more you eat good quality salt, the more you have good quality fats like butter, animal fats. People think vegetarian fats are the best. They are not. They are not the same quality as animal fats. You have to have animal fats. And then I'm just going to keep going on.
Sure.
Microbes, I didn't mention microbes because it's minerals, microbes, and enzymes. The microbes that we talked about before help process our food, help our bodies clean up the environment internally. They eat the chemicals, they eat the graphene oxide, they eat spike proteins, they eat the GMOs, they eat all that stuff up. So you have to have the microbes. And I realize they're not readily available, but people can contact me for them. And then grounding. If you don't live in Florida and you can't walk on the ground every day, then get a grounding pad. Some of them you can get for less than $50 on Amazon. Put your feet on them because you have to connect to the earth. And it's been proven over and over and over again that the lack of connection to the earth is one of the biggest stressors in the body, and that will cause weight gain. Does that make sense? I don't know if you've heard that before. Oh, you have one. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Yes.
And it accidentally disconnected. One moment, please. This is connected to the ground lug, the ground lug on the electrical outlet. You can't get a shock. Don't worry. And you just snap it on right there. Yep. And you put your feet on it. I've also experimented. Sometimes I sit on it, just a different way of doing things. But yeah, you think you're at your desk all day and you're working and if you got to go somewhere, might as well put them on a mat. I think that costs $20. And even the cord to hit the outlet is got to be like 20 feet. So there's no, I was shocked. I mean, it's actually I have to wrap it up. There's so much down there. But yeah. And you know what, for anybody that thinks it's kind of woo woo, like, come on, what do you got to lose? It's $20. And everybody says, ground yourself like you are. Even don't laugh unless, you've experienced this, hugging a tree.
That's right.
Yeah.
And hugging other humans too, because human touch.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you said that, Terry. I'm not even, I will show you. I just had this text conversation with somebody today and I shared it with others. I mean, not even today. I'm talking 2 hours ago, not even 2 hours ago. And the conversation was, somebody said, do you know that you need to you need 8 hugs a day. 8 hugs a day. So then I researched it very briefly and I'm going to read what he said. And Forbes.com had it. So I would think there's some validity in it if they're going to publish it. But they actually said that you need, and here it is, I'm going to read it. We need 4 hugs a day for survival, 8 hugs a day for maintenance, 12 hugs a day for growth. Wow. We are like on the same, literally just an hour and a half ago with 2 different people texting that as I was saying. Wow. Interesting.
Well, and laughter. I mean, hugs are so important. And some people say you have to have 20-second hugs. That is a long hug. But I mean, It really does the trick. But you remember Charlie Chaplin in the early 1900s, 1930, sure. 1940?
Yeah.
Great humorist,
slapstick comedy, just, black and white, no sound, he was doing his thing. Yeah, sure.
He said, every day that you don't laugh is a wasted day. Every day.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
laughter.
Well, get what have they always said? Laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, it is.
Interesting. And all these little phrases you forget, but there's a reason they're around because there is some meaning to them. Um, the hug thing that I haven't researched this myself. Does hugging your cat count?
Oh, yes, it does. I tell you what, you take a cat and put it to your chest so that the purring goes right into your heart. Do you know, Steve, are you familiar with the newer research that very, very clearly, and it's not actually new, I mean, it's been around, but it's never been publicized really, that the heart is not a pump. We're always taught it's a pump. It is not a pump. The blood, the vortices in the blood actually make the heart move, make it pump. It does not pump the blood. It's the other way around. I've got a link on that if you want me to send it to you. It is awesome. It is just, I've seen such wonderful explanations of that lately. And people don't realize, but putting a cat to your heart, oh my gosh. I just got 2 kittens a couple months ago.
Ah, and I did a year ago, and one of them, they're both mushy, but one is exceptionally mushy. I was hugging him at 9 o'clock this morning. I was like, I need a hug. Yeah, come here. And he's okay with it. He just hangs out. Yeah, okay, no problem. He's so sweet that I can walk in. He jumps up, always on the counter. I'm like, Rocco, give me a kiss. He comes right over, gives me a kiss.
Oh.
Interesting. Wow. So I've a question. Uh, there's a place nearby that has allegedly healthy meals. And they say that, you know, proper diet, to be in shape, all of that, lose weight, all of that. It's 80% diet, 20% exercise. What are your thoughts on that? Are they saying 80% diet because they want to push their meals, or is that some truth in that?
Well, there's a lot of truth to, we've talked before about combining the proper rules for that. So if you, like I had a client come in years ago who lost about 30 pounds without knowing how she lost it. And it was because she just stopped eating bread. She ate hamburgers with no bread. So not putting starches with your protein makes an enormous difference. And the quality of your food. I went to a Japanese restaurant. I was in New Orleans last week. Went to a Japanese restaurant. The people there are so loving. And you know, the energy in the East or in the Orient, I don't know if it's true still today, but it used to be in the monasteries. Only the highest spiritual person could cook the food because the energies went into the food. You could taste that in the food in that restaurant. It was the most uplifting, light, delightful. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, it was.
Wow, that says a lot. And there are many that Reiki their food.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. And prayer for our food. I mean, what is Reiki but prayer in another sense, you know?
Right. Wow. Interesting.
So, but no, if a person just wants a really easy way out, just stop eating the starches at the same meal with your proteins. Don't even think about throwing them out completely, although I do, I mean, not all the starches, but the grains, nuts, and seeds are really hard on the body. That's a whole nother topic. But at least the grains, they really mess with the brain. They cause Alzheimer's and one of the causes, and dementia. So it's really important what you eat, the quality of what you eat. But I have to say, Steve, the sleep and the resting and taking time for ourselves and the grounding and the hugs and the laughter, that's a major component.
It sounds all woo-woo, but it's true. And how do you know that? Because you do life and you realize what you don't get enough sleep, you can't deal with life. What does that do? Stresses you out. It's not just the lack of sleep. It's you don't have the clarity to deal with things. So now you get all stressed out and it's hard to deal with things. And then that puts another strain on your body. And then there's another one that comes from after that. Uh, Final thoughts. We have about a minute, 30 seconds or so on this whole metabolism, weight situation.
Yeah, so what you were saying, I want to piggyback on that it's then because of the stresses, because of the lack of sleep, you lose the minerals. And that's your foundation. If you lose the minerals, like I know somebody who was in his late 20s, he went gray overnight. You've heard of that, people going gray overnight. There's so much stress in that man's body overnight. So
Wow.
yeah, people, I just say rest, be good to yourself, love yourself. I was talking with a friend last night, and she has come to an amazing turnaround of her life getting real, authentic, loving herself. It is so important. Love ourselves, just like the Japanese Dr. Emoto, who talked about saying the word love to our water, putting a label on your water, love, gratitude. All of this makes a difference. So yeah, people can reach me through Morse Wellness. That's my last name, Morse, like Morse code, MORSE wellness.org, O-R-G. And we can talk. They can set a contact form and, say a question and I'll respond and blah, blah, blah. We can be in touch.
I love what you do and the way you do it. I really do. You are so concise. You get right to the point. It's like, snap it out. Because we're in, I call it the Amazon world. Need it now, click it. It arrives in 3 hours. We need the information fast. And by the way, I get so frustrated when I'm reading something on my phone. Like I'll Google something and there's an article and then they separate it by ads. Then they just want to keep you scrolling. I don't have time. Terry, just give me the answer. And I got the answer. I got 5 things I got to shop for. Go to your website. And
guess what, Steve? On my website, I'm starting to put up Q&A now. It's not there yet, but every time somebody asks me a question, I'm putting in the right answer. So people can go boom, 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 boom. It's going to keep growing.
Love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you and looking forward next time we get a chance to get together.
2 weeks. We're going to talk about fasting. Fasting. That's next time.
I don't know if I could do that, but let's talk. And if I could hug you right now, I would. It'd be virtual. I don't know. It'd be one less you need today. All right. All good. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Bye.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.